What's going on, y'all? Back with another week of predictions. Today we got week 15. We're gonna recap week 14 first. Oh, forgot about this. So we got Urban Meyer got fired. They weren't doing good anyway. It was beyond too much drama for it to be his first year. It's kind of understandable, but at the same time, it's wild. I expected it to go totally different, considering the fact that he had a good rep in college, and it's just obviously it never translates the same way trying to coach teenagers versus and young adults versus trying to coach grown men. Totally different. So it was a transition for him, but I feel like he had to be a little bit more humble walking into it, but it is what it is. I mean, that's good for Trevor, so now they can find somebody who to fit him better. And it's just, the whole thing was weird, even starting off with them drafting Travis Etienne when you already had James Robinson, then not even giving James Robinson any carries, when the time came. So all of it was weird, but I think they'll be going in a good direction next. I mean, that's all you can do. It's not like they're one of the top teams or one of the worst teams in the league. So only direction is up for them. So that's that. It's interesting. We got AFC Player of the Week being Justin Herbert, 275 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 133 passer rating, 74% completion rate. At the Defensive Player is Mike Hughes, cornerback, 9 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and a 23-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Defensively, they've been so good, man. It's a full 180 from who they were at the beginning of the season. Special Teams Player of the Week, Brandon McManus, 8 points, 5 out of 5 on field goals, and a 52-yarder. NFC Offensive Player of the Week, George Kittle, 13 receptions, 151 yards, and a touchdown. I need to check if I won fantasy because I don't remember if I did or not. Defensive Player of the Week, we got Aaron Donald, 5 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 TFLs, and 1 pass defense. Man, he had a crazy game. Just overall, their pass rush just could not be stopped. The Cardinals had almost no answer. Again, that looked like a totally different game from their first matchup. Special Teams Player of the Week, Jakeem Grant, a 97-yard punt return touchdown, 131 total return yards, and then he had I think like a 70-something yard rushing touchdown. So I know that has nothing to do with special teams, but he had a really good game. All right, so recapping the Week 14 games, we had the Vikings versus Steelers. Trying to remember how that one went. Oh yeah, this one came down close to the end. The whole thing with Chase Claypool and the celebration. Got Najee. He had a pretty good game. Chase had a good game. Overall, their whole receiving core was just really balling out. Just defensively, I think that was the issue. It really felt like a shootout in a sense. They both were going back and forth offensively, making good plays defensively. Just they couldn't get it done. Vikings, we got Kirk Cousins threw 2 picks, 216 yards for 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook ran for 205. That was the issue. Okay, now I remember. 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. KJ Osborne, the leading receiver, with 83 yards. Justin Jefferson, 8. So they're missing Thielen still. Man, that'd be really good for them when he comes back. Like I said, KJ been balling out at the number 3 position for them in the slot. Number 3. Yeah, so really the run game was the issue. They couldn't stop, and Vikings just dominated, took advantage. Both teams kind of in the same position, essentially both like mid-tier teams right now. So can't really put too much on it. Don't really know their directions, but I think the Vikings are a bit more competitive than the Steelers. For the Sunday games, we got the Jags versus Titans. Titans put a beating on the Jags, 20-0. Jags really couldn't get anything going. Titans just shut them out in all phases of the game. Jets versus Saints. Yeah, Jets versus Saints. Saints, Taysom Hill, man. That's all I got to say. They play really good defensively. They are a good defensive team for the most part. It's not on a consistent basis and not just like super good defense, but they are a good defensive team. I think moving forward, they should just stick with Taysom Hill. Like, just might as well. I don't think he's been terrible. He has, he may not have been great the times that he has started the season, but he hasn't been terrible. I'll ride it out. I feel like he gives you a pretty good option of winning. Giants versus Chargers. I would pick the. Why am I doing predictions? Okay, so Chargers beat the Giants. From what I remember, they did pretty good all around. All the receivers were eating for the Chargers. Giants just really couldn't get much going. They did decent. I don't even remember like the what they did. Like I feel like the Chargers beat them pretty soundly. So we'll move on. Ravens versus Browns, that was a good game. Ravens almost came back. Tyler Huntley played pretty well, like he normally does. I've rarely ever seen him. I don't think we have really just seen him play terrible yet. but almost came back. They were down with 24-0 at one point, or 20-something to 0, I think. I don't know what the future is for the Browns. Ravens are going to the playoffs. I would just keep Lamar out, at least sideline for sure. Just if you need to put him in for a win, do that. But let Tyler play, and I don't know. I don't know if that's the best idea, but he's playing good. And if Lamar needs rest, I give him rest. Panthers, Falcons. Falcons look like a very competitive team. Panthers were down pretty badly, kind of came back a little bit and made it a close game, but Falcons just looked like they were the better team on that day. Again, like I said, I feel like they rushed the whole Cam thing, but it is what it is. We got Lions versus Broncos. Broncos blew out the Lions. Expected. They played a really good game, great game. Tribute to Demaryius Thomas. They I feel like they did what they were supposed to. They are a much better team. Seahawks versus Texans. This one was close all the way into the fourth quarter, and then the Seahawks just took off. Seahawks are a better team than the Texans, so that played out how essentially it was supposed to as well. Raiders versus Chiefs. Raiders, they just don't look competitive really much. They're decent, but they don't look as competitive at all anymore as they did at the beginning of the season. Even like they did last year, they looked pretty competitive last year. We'll see how the rest of the season plans out. I feel like it's gonna be a long season for them because it's really up in the air. Chiefs playoffs, obviously, possible Super Bowl. We'll see. Buccaneers versus Bills. Bills just, I don't know, man. A very, very up and down team. Don't know what to expect. But the Buccaneers are the better team, so they won, got the dub. Is what it is. 49ers versus Bengals. It was a good game. I think this went to OT, if I'm not mistaken. But I believe this was a very good game. So I can't remember it in general, but I remember being very competitive and just the impression. I don't remember the details, but I do remember the impression. But both teams are in playoff contention right now, so we'll see how that plays out in the near future. Cowboys versus Washington. Cowboys almost lost this one. Washington won 4 games in a row prior to this one, so we're gonna see how the rest of the season plays out for them. They still could put themselves in a playoff position, but it's not guaranteed, obviously, but they're going to have to work for it. But, Cowboys got to tighten up, keep their foot on the gas because they were very close to throwing this game. Bears versus Packers. Got to say, Packers did good. Bears didn't do too bad either. It's just the Packers are the better team. They can keep up with them. So that's that. And then we have Monday night with the Rams and the Cardinals. Cardinals just seemed they didn't seem like the same offense as they did the first time that they met. It's a different feel. They feel handicapped in the sense, they're not 100% offensively. They all their weapons not 100%. So it's a bunch of question marks, but they have to figure it out soon because the playoffs are right around the corner. So that's that. Good win for the Rams. Very good win for them. Vaughn had pretty good impact in that game, and so did Odell. So it's good to see that the 2 new weapons are finally getting used, in a sense. But that's it, man. All right, so we got the passing yard leaders through week 14. Brady at number 1, Derek Carr at number 2, Matt Stafford at 3, Justin Herbert, Mahomes, Cousins, Allen, Burrow, Prescott, and Rodgers. Nothing too surprising here. I think everything normal. I think Derek Carr the only one up here with a losing record. Everybody up here is going to playoffs. Literally, that's pretty wild. Or like in the playoff conversation, except for Raiders. Actually, I think Raiders are in that conversation. I don't think they lost that many. Like they're not out at all. But I feel like all of these are. Not all of them are shoe-ins. I can't say that, but generally, just about all 10 of these guys are. I'll say what A-Rod for sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 out of 10 for sure. So it's interesting. Brady with 36 touchdowns. Oh, he's probably hitting 50. Maybe 5,000 yards. Is it a stretch? Y'all let me know. Jonathan Taylor leading the league in rushing yards. Joe Mixon 2. Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Najee, Antonio Gibson, Zeke, Leonard Fournette, and then Lamar at 10. Looks like Lamar's going to have another How many games we got left? It's 15. We got 3 weeks left. So Lamar could hit 1,000. It's possible. Fournette probably hit 1,000. So that'd be interesting. Jonathan Taylor, 16 touchdowns. I know what's his name? James Conner is up there as well with the touchdowns. NFL leaders for receiving yards. We got Cooper Kupp 1, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, Tyler Lockett, Deontay Johnson, Stephon Diggs. Cooper Kupp with 100. He's the only one with 100 catches. Is that accurate? 113. He's pretty far ahead of the pack. All right, so I couldn't find the I couldn't find another schedule besides this one. So we're gonna roll with the UK schedule. So ignore the times on it. But we got the full schedule for week 15. Thursday night tonight we have the Chargers versus Chiefs. It's actually in progress right now. So by the time I edit this and put it out, the game either will be over or still be going. So we'll see. Sunday. Sorry. Chiefs and Chargers. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs in this one. They just been rolling, man. They've been rolling, looking very good. Chargers aren't bad either, but I got a little bit more faith in the Chiefs. We got the Raiders versus the Browns. I would pick the Browns in this one. Raiders kind of iffy. Don't really know how to feel or what to expect with them. Patriots versus Colts. I'd pick the Patriots. Oh yeah, Patriots, of course. Can't sleep on them. Colts not bad, but yeah, Patriots just another team rolling, looking like one of the best teams in the league right now. Cowboys versus Giants. Cowboys for sure. Texans versus Jaguars. I'll pick the Texans in this one. Jags probably could take it. I don't feel like the Texans want to win. I feel like the Jags. I can't say that about the Texans. I gotta say that about the. I can't say that about the Texans. Personnel, like player wise, but the front office, like I said before, I don't know if they want to win. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'll pick the Texans in this one. So it can go either way. Obviously 2-11, both teams. Titans and Steelers should be a good game. I'll pick the Steelers in this one. I don't know how I feel about the Titans right now, man. Just in this matchup, like they are the team to pick, but it's something I just feel. So I don't know. I feel something about the Steelers. I don't know, man. It's not the same Titans with Derrick Henry, you know. So, and I think last time that they played the Steelers, they had Henry. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong there. But I'm gonna just roll with the Steelers in this one. I feel comfortable picking the underdog at this moment. Jets versus Dolphins. We're gonna roll with the Dolphins on this one. Jets could put up a fight, but likely not. We'll see. But Dolphins. Washington versus the Eagles. I am going to pick the. Let's see. Both teams even records. So this will be their first matchup. What does Washington do well? I mean, they spread the ball. They run the ball decently. Eagles spread the ball. Solid defense. Eagles played the Jets last, beat them. So that's a good confidence boost. Washington played the Cowboys. Cowboys really good defense. And they lost. Almost won though. And it was a divisional game. It's another divisional game. Eagles lost to the Giants just a few weeks ago. Beat the Saints and beat the Broncos. Leaning towards the Eagles right now. Let's see. Washington beat some pretty good teams though, because they were on a win streak, obviously. So lost to the Cowboys, beat the Raiders, beat the Seahawks, beat the Panthers, beat the Buccaneers, and they lost to the Broncos. Broncos beat both of them. It's pretty wild. I'll pick the Eagles in this one. Lions versus the Cardinals. Cardinals, obviously. Panthers versus Bills. I believe it'll be a competitive game. I'll pick the Bills. That's crazy. Bills are now 7-6. They getting very close to 500. I think, like I said, I think it'll be competitive. But Bills, Bengals versus Broncos. Both teams 7-6. Should be very interesting games. Bengals obviously like to pass. I feel like Broncos have a good matchup for them though, because they have a lot of good DBs. What it'll come down to probably is a run game. So let me see. Broncos actually have one of the best run defenses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. in the top half as far as run defense goes. I think that's what it'll come down to. But the Broncos like to run the ball too. Bengals have a really good run defense. It'll be an interesting matchup. I think very competitive. But I'm gonna pick the Broncos in this one. Like I said, Bengals obviously like to run the ball and they like to pass it. Got Joe Mixon back there. But I think the Broncos have a good matchup as far as defensive backs go. I don't think they have just the best run defense. It's solid, but I mean, I kind of trust them a little bit more. I like the Bengals more offensively, but I like the Broncos more defensively. So, you got to pick your poison with that one. And I'll pick the Broncos. Falcons versus 49ers. I'll pick the 49ers in this one. Should be a very good game, though. I believe so. Matt Ryan has been pretty good under pressure. Just been good overall. You got Cordell Patterson and company, Kyle Pitts. It'll be an interesting game. You got one elite tight end and one up and coming tight end. So with Kittle and Kyle, but I'll roll the 49ers on this one. Seahawks versus Rams. I believe the Seahawks have swept the Rams for the past few years, but Rams finally got them another win, and I see them taking this one. I think last time they played, I picked the Seahawks and I picked the Rams and the Seahawks won, but I picked the Rams again on this one. Sorry, Seahawks fans.